Well, this stadium has been the scene of so many momentous matches and great occasions down through the years, and this evening is no exception. The moment we've all been waiting for is almost here. Let's take a look at the lineups. Goalkeeper Owen Murphy from Glenmore is starting his second successive championship in the #1 jersey for Kilkenny. One of their 3 championship debutants, Brian Kennedy, lines out at left corner back alongside 8-time All-Ireland medalist JJ Delaney from Fenians. The half-back line bears no resemblance to last summer. Number 5, Pádraig Walsh, makes his championship debut, and Jackie Tyrrell now mans the pivotal centre-back spot. At midfield, Clara's Lester Ryan returns to the side at number 8, with the versatile Richie Hogan named to start alongside the team captain. Former Hurler of the Year Michael Fennelly has recovered from injury to lead the attack, with his clubmate, the free-scoring TJ Reid, at number 12. And in the inside line, it's a first championship start for full forward Mark Kelly from the local O'Loughlin Gales club, with All-Ireland winning captain Owen Larkin recalled at number 15. The team that lost to Kilkenny 12 months ago start again, including goalkeeper James Dempsey from Kinnedy. Number 2, Niall Wynne, is beginning his championship career today, while fullback Rory Hannafy started his 13 years ago, also against Kilkenny. Wing-back Barry Harding is the second of the debutants, while Derek Morgan from Shinrone provides experience at number 6. Offaly's midfielders will need to hold their own, so it's no surprise to see Conor Mahon alongside former county footballer Sean Ryan from Birr. The half-forward line is packed with big, strong ball winners, including inspirational team captain Joe Bergen and Kilcormac-Killahey newcomer Peter Geraghty. Young corner forward Kevin Connolly gets his first start, but is expected to drop back as a sweeper. Talisman Shane Dooley and the veteran Brian Carroll will remain closer to goal. Since he took charge just before Christmas. Cathal Parlin cuts it in towards Brian Carroll. Good take, strong in the air, onto his left-hand side, and the Offaly crowd like it. Wonderful score from Brian Carroll. The outsiders hit the front after a little under 90 seconds.
That's a great start by Brian Carroll, and as anticipated, Kevin Connolly is playing as a sweeper right behind his half-back line for Offaly, and it'll be interesting to see this puck out, how they...
Owen Murphy looking for big Walter Walsh, who's jumping there with TJ Reid. Break gobbled up by Fennelly, and here's Owen Larkin. Just fires it up on the breeze, makes it look so easy. First probing ball, testing out that Kilkenny full back line, which they deal with capably. Mark Kelly, the full forward, just lost that ball in the air. So too did James Rigney, and now Colin Fennelly. He's got a man inside. He takes his own score. They will punish a man who soldiered with the county footballers for years and years, and this guy can hurl. Superb score from Ryan. Sides level again.
Yeah, Sean Ryan.
Lovely close control there by Richie Hogan, delivering it low towards Colin Fennelly. He started really lively in that full forward line. TJ Reid there to help. Dished back outside to big Walter Walsh. Off balance, but over the bar. So many for the run of Brian Carroll, the most experienced man in that Offaly side. Shane Dooley fires it up into the wind and takes his score beautifully. It's back to a one-point game again. Michael Fennelly's persistence paid off there. Got that ball under control eventually. TJ Reid, beautiful first touch to kill it, stone dead. Reid over the bar. Lovely to watch. Kilkenny lead by 2 points. Reid on fire.
Yeah, that's superb skill. Look at that touch. Perfect. He knew exactly what he was doing and just made a little bit of space for himself, and with a dummy hand pass straight over the bar. And you know, this man has been on fire.
Again, in his natural habitat of that left wing. Owen Larkin fancies his chances. They've hit a little purple pass. Ball delivered though right down on top of that spare man, Paul Murphy. Here's Walter Walsh. Uses his power to hold off Parlin. And what about that for a score? He was 75.
Very, very skillful player.
3 points in a row for Kilkenny, and all of a sudden they just find another gear. Walter Walsh, lovely soft hands for a big man. Here's Fennelly. Inside, it's Richie Hogan. Ryan heard the call. Hogan has so much time to deliberate and take his score.
At the moment, they need something.
A mistake by Del Morgan, redeemed by Rory Hannafy. Did well to get across and block that ball down. The danger, though, not fully cleared. Again, Walter Walsh. His instinct is to go for goal. Stopped by Dempsey. Back goes Connolly. It's in the net. Owen Larkin from point-blank range rolls it over the line. First blood to Kilkenny.
Yeah, and again,
14 minutes gone.
Yeah, there's the power of Walter Walsh over James Rigney again. Good save by James Dempsey originally, but at that stage they needed to move it out. And
long spells. Kilkenny 4, Warren tonight. Look like they've meant business right from the start. And they're beginning to throw it around rather ominously for Offaly. Here's Paul Murphy. He gets in on the act. The right corner back, the spare man. Makes it look easy. Yeah. 10 points in it.
You know, that's the guy that Kevin Connolly is supposed to be marking up at this side, and he's getting more confidence and coming forward. And we saw when Shane Dooley got the ball previous to that, you know, there was 3 Kilkenny.
Jackie Turrell, who clears his lines defiantly. Colin Fennelly buzzing around that attack. Thought about the pass, instead takes his own score. They're unmarked. Brian Carroll taking over the free take.
They're way over Offaly, and it's really easy for them at the moment. Beautiful score from PJ Reid.
A few dark clouds beginning to roll in over Kilkenny City as again the cornerback slips and Fennelly's in. Brilliant save by James Dempsey. 15 minutes to go in this first half. Kilkenny have won 12 for the 2012 All-Ireland champions. Hogan, beautiful ball to pick out the completely unmarked Michael Fennelly. Rebound to Colin, back of the net, goal for Kilkenny. Colin Fennelly. Too easy, and the gap now stands at 14 points.
Yeah, you see Richie Hogan, a great ball in. Michael Fennelly is in acres of space, and he goes for the goal and back out to Colin Fennelly, who's again in acres of space. He's just not been marked.
The breeze.
Yeah, that was really strange to me. I thought, you know, to have any chance tonight, Offaly have to get in front and frustrate Kilkenny, but I mean, it's just Colin Fennelly is on fire, and you know, Offaly should have certainly.
Kevin Connolly did well to hang on to that ball. Again, they look for Brian Carroll. He's out in front of his man. This one looks much better, and indeed it is. That's a 3rd point for Brian Carroll. It comes
all the time.
Poor pass by Killian Buckley, gobbled up by Dan Currams and hammered. Richie Hogan in the right place at the right time. He was under pressure, time at a premium, but not a bad replacement to bring in. Kieran Joyce coming in. Here's Walter Walsh, unmarked. Again, thinking just that split second quicker than his marker. Sprays it across towards Walter Walsh. Coming into the line is Owen Larkin. At 17 points.
That was an outstanding take by Larkin off the ground. The ball is skidded off the surface, and a great pass by Walter Walsh. So while Offaly are making it easy for him, Kilkenny are really impressive tonight. This is as good a form as they have shown in a long time.
Ball broken away by Niall Wynne, who's sticking doggedly to his task. Again though, Larkin coming off the shoulder, and that's just
on here, and again winning the ball in the air, and they're just totally dominant, and this is easy score coming up for Michael Fennelly.
They're attacking in waves. They're running at Offaly. Feints to go one way, then the other. He is beginning to wheel out the party pieces. Beautiful score.
Yeah, again, you see, he has the power in the air, and Niall Wynne has switched over to him. He's already dealt with James Rigney.
A little bit last year in Tullamore, the concession of the 4 goals. They've laid down a serious marker here in that first half tonight.
We've seen some great scores from Kilkenny in this game, and a great variety of scores as well.
Yeah, we have, Brian, and we spoke before the game about, you know, maybe subtle alterations to their style, that maybe, you know, the possession type game, the clear play. And we're going to see, I'm going to highlight here Richie Hogan. And this is before those goals arrive. Now, I want you to follow Richie Hogan's run. So as we run the play through, okay, rise the tackle, first pass, okay, runners off the ball, second pass, third pass. We're going to pause it here. Now, again, if this ball, all right, is delivered correctly into the space, it's a goal opportunity. Now, as it turns out, the ball goes a little bit wide. Richie, of course, keeping his head, you know, class player, weighs up his options, and it's a tight angle for a guy this ability. You know, it's a routine score, and that was, this was, you know, an indication that Kilkenny, they can go direct, they can get that ball early into the full forward line, but they can also work the ball. You know, runners coming left and right if they feel that, you know, it's the right option to take.
Offaly struggling to stop Kilkenny. We thought pre-game that the sweeper might help them. In fact, it was quite the opposite. We even saw Kilkenny's spare man pick up a point. They changed something, and they had to change something.
Absolutely, and they were, I suppose, cleaned out in their own puck out. And, you know, we've seen an instance here where they tried to go short. But again, you know, we're going to stop this in a second. And this is the Offaly sweeper. Now, if his touch is right there, all right, he's a chance to get the ball away. But look at the intensity that Kilkenny are bringing. 1, 2, 3 Kilkenny forwards. Just get that again. 1, 2, 3 Kilkenny forwards, and it shows again their physicality.
You spoke about the size of those men.
Yeah. Absolutely, and you know, as we run it on, I mean, you know, the Offaly sweeper is put to the floor, loses possession, can't compete physically with the, you know, the aggression Kilkenny are bringing. And again, Walter Walsh is onto it, opportunity inside, and Colin Fennelly, if he wants here, okay, he's got Mark Kelly over here, okay, making that run. And just in terms of, look at the space, okay, that's available here. All right, and you'd feel that if Kilkenny, you know, drove on, there was a goal opportunity there. Fennelly, who's been on fire in that first half, however, again elects to take the point, and Kilkenny again just illustrating that, you know, they have totally physically dominated Offaly.
An exhibition from Kilkenny and answering some.
The Offaly to play from left to right, playing into the, or with the breeze at their backs rather. And that's a good positive start. Joe Bergen, right, Kenny in full flight, and Offaly chasing shadows so far. Owen Larkin, he's been so influential. He's picked out Michael Fennelly, and that shot flies over the bar. That's now 2 goals and 22 points from play from Kilkenny in this game. That very nearly a 3rd goal.
Yeah, it could have been a goal, but you see there, Derek Moore
claimed that ball. And now Sean Ryan. Everybody closely marked. He carries it and now links with Parlin. Nice touch to get away from Colin Fennelly, and Carl Parlin splits the posts from 60 metres. He start all over again. Michael Fennelly, there's a loose man inside. It's TJ Reid. Nobody at home in the Offaly defence. Dempsey again with a flying save, and once more he's single-handedly keeping Kilkenny at bay. Instead located only Killian Buckley. Went by Joe Bergen too easily there. Lovely touch from Michael Fennelly. Here's Mark Kelly. He's in on goal, and he buries it. Mark Kelly's first score of the night is a goal, Kilkenny's 3rd, and they have now scored more goals in this match than they did in the entire championship last summer.
Yeah,
they found their goal touch again.
It's through the Offaly defence and no challenge.
Brian Carroll, he has been outstanding.
Position to be in if you're a manager, and Brian Cody is in that happy position. More players to come back from in.
His square, and inevitably finds a man. Killian Buckley, one of the newcomers to the Kilkenny defence this summer. Richie Hogan shut down by 2, and then a 3rd Offaly defender, and yet still Kilkenny come away with the ball. Lester Ryan inside to Kelly. He has options left and right. He takes the goal. Well, they were queuing up there literally to finish that to the Offaly net. Mark Kelly had all the time he needed to pick his spot and make no mistake.
Yeah, he's just ghosting through from midfield, and Tomas Geraghty has come on, and he's completely. Kelly is playing midfield, even though we're in number 14, and he's just ghosted in, and he's that's his 2nd goal, but he's had 2 other chances as well. So Tomas.
The odd minutes. TJ Reid Again, there's a loose man. Larkin, and once more Dempsey to the rescue.
Loved in Kilkenny. Well, you'd hate to envisage it, you know. You'd have to try to think that you were going to put up a big battle and a big performance here in Kilkenny, and maybe you mightn't win it, but you'd test.
Derek Morgan dropping this one in. Owen Murphy left his goal, chased in by Thomas Geraghty rather, as Brian Carroll lifted that deftly, and what about that for a finish? Managed to lift it football style from between his boots, and then with his left boot hammers it to the Kilkenny net.
Yeah,
lovely piece of skill and a deft finish.
Yeah, he did really well to get it off the ground and get onto the left boot here, and you know, he's been the most likely Offaly scorer all day. He's you know, he did well early on, and he hasn't seen much of the ball since, but great finish.
And that's a goal and 5 points for Brian Carroll from Coolderry. He'll be 31 next weekend, and he has certainly fought the good fight for Offaly in this game. As Kilkenny have a player down in the middle of the field, TJ Reid. Play carries on regardless. Richie Hogan, the All-Ireland champion handballer, tops up his personal account. 4 points for Hogan. Very difficult to tell from that angle, Nicky, but we had a perfect view and it was borderline.
Yeah, well, we're pretty much in line with it, and I thought looking at it the first time that it was over, but that
an awful lot of John Joe Farrell in this part of the world, and we'll get to see him in the next 10 minutes in that inside line. Rory Hannafy lofting this one in, and Rory Hannafy
the end of the 90s, and they're a good team, so you know, he's soldiered a long time without any success or any reward.
Kilkenny have tagged on 2-5 in this second half. Walter Walsh makes that next month, and bidding, of course, to lead Kilkenny to a record-breaking 10th All-Ireland title. As onto the ball for Kilkenny goes Aidan Fogarty, weaving his way through that Offaly backline, which has become very ragged. And that ball dug out somehow by Stephen Quirk from St. Rina's, and the man who Tyrrell hitting a 10 or 12-yard hand pass back to his keeper. The luxury of sitting on a 22-point cushion.
Should he achieve something since he's come on?
Well, that score from Conor Mahan.
The first half they were utterly dominant, and you know, I know Offaly have outscored them, but Kilkenny have taken the foot off the gas, and James Dempsey has been outstanding and has been...
But nothing, oh, nothing he could do about that. Owen Larkin with a daisy cutter to the corner. His second goal. The match, no shortage of contenders, as he said. This has been one-way traffic from a long way out, as Lester Ryan has a go. Strong hand from Larkin, back to Fogarty. And that's a third point for Aidan Fogarty.
Forwards, they just went to town on the Offaly defence, really overpowered them physically. TJ Reid, obviously man of the match. He got a fantastic score again today, and really was involved in one piece of fantastic skill in the first half as well, where he took a ball down from the air and finished it off with a great score. So they had many great performers all over the field, but their forwards, really great movement today, and they were just on fire.
Yeah, hooks, blocks and tackles, 30 to Offaly. Is that a surprising stat?
Yeah, I mean, you know, traditionally the team, or supposedly the team that wins that battle wins the game, but Kilkenny just monopolised possession, and I think that, you know, the aerial contested balls, the ground contested balls, they won both of those battles hands down, and Offaly were, you know, struggling to get their hands on any ball, and particularly in the first half.
Now, Jamesy, we didn't want to address this really before the game. We wanted to give Offaly a chance going into it, but the state of Offaly hurling off the field is something that is being addressed but it's in dire need of addressing.
Absolutely, Brian. And I suppose, the Offaly County Board are the ones charged with governance of the game within the county, and they have some serious questions to answer after tonight. I mean, Brian Whelan is the one that will be fielding the questions, and whether or not he should be appointed manager is maybe something that will crop up. But has the County Board got the infrastructure, the facilities in place, and more importantly, have they got the structures in place? They're not producing the players. So is the work being done in the primary schools? Are the secondary schools being supported? And they seem to be light years behind where the Clares, the Leashes, the Kilkennys are vis-a-vis their development squads, strength and conditioning programmes. And I find it hard to credit that the Offaly County Board only recently appointed their under-21 management. Clare won the All-Ireland under-21 title last year. This year's Clare team have 6 months work done. We saw the fruits of that last Wednesday night, when they, saw off a committed and focused Limerick team. So, for me, it's easy to stand here and blame Brian Whelan tonight, and maybe he deserves, obviously, some of the blame. But the Offaly County Board are really going to have to take a look at where they currently stand.
Yeah, and Ollie, you mentioned before the Kilkenny physical superiority. It was so apparent during the game.
It was, and the conditioning, obviously, of the players. But they've got big players out there that can compete under the high ball. And as the stats showed, under the high ball and even on the ground, they were just physically overpowered the Offaly players.
Yeah, in fairness, I suppose we performed very well. We were gearing ourselves up for this game for the last 4 or 5 weeks. So we're after the league final, with a good victory in the league final. We had 4 weeks to get ourselves ready for Offaly. We are preparing mentally to 100%. We are training very hard for this game, and just shows today paid off.
The work rate and intensity were incredible. Was there serious hurt from last year that was in evidence on this display tonight?
Yeah, last year was disappointing for ourselves. We got knocked out in the quarter-finals, which is unusual for ourselves. So we set down big ambitions this year. This year there's a lot of freshness there as well. A lot of new guys. Well, not new guys. They're all on the panel, but they're all on the team there today. So bit of hunger, bit of freshness, and it's showing that there today. So it is.
When you're leading by 20 points plus at the break, how hard is it to maintain that effort in the second half?
I suppose it was half time. It wasn't full time, so